If you're at all into gaming, sci-fi, or comics, I'm sure each year you see some amazing Comic-Con or Dragon Con costumes. Halo characters, Stormtroopers, Iron Man, but how do they do it? It's actually not that hard, and anyone can do it for relatively cheap, and here's how. Before we get started, let me congratulate Simeon for winning the Flash Game contest. You can see and play his winning game here, so check it out and have fun. So what do you think it takes to make your own costume armor? Vacuum formers, plastic molds? Well, traditionally these are the tools you'd have to use. But believe it or not, there's a way that you can actually print out your own armor using thick cardstock and a regular printer. It prints them out like puzzle pieces, so then you can just piece them together. Wait a second. Armor out of paper doesn't seem very durable. But don't worry, I'll show you a couple of different methods that you can use to strengthen and harden your armor later on in the video. So how does all of this work? Well, it starts with a unique little program called Pepakura that takes 3D models and converts them into printable paper puzzles. Let's say you want to be a Halo character. What you do is you search for Halo on Google, adding PDO to the search, which is the file type used for Pepakura. You can find tons of models this way. For Halo, there's even an entire wiki devoted to making your own Halo armor. So just download the armor that you want. And then to view it, you'll need to download the Pepakura viewer from here. But what if you can't find a model that you want to build? Well, then you'll have to create your own using the Pepakura designer. It's a more detailed process, but you can find the instructions on how to make your own model from scratch here, where I show you how to clone a head out of paper. After everything's been printed out on semi-thick paper stock, we need to cut out and glue all the pieces together. A good tip is to avoid cutting out all the pieces at once, and I know it's going to be difficult to resist. But instead use the Pepakura viewer to see where each piece goes and what page it's printed on. Then cut out the pieces and glue them together in that order. Make sure to take note of the dotted lines on the different pieces. If you have a dotted line that looks like this, that means it's a mountain fold. If you have a dotted dashed line like this, that means it's a valley fold. As for mine, I'm actually just going to leave out the visor portion of the model. It's starting to look pretty good, and if you're just going to use it once, you may be happy with it the way it is. But if you're going to be using it multiple times, then you really want to make it more durable. Now there's several ways to do that, and the way that you choose depends on what you're going to be using it for. The preferred method is the fiberglass and resin method, which requires more time, patience, and money, but essentially this would make it virtually indestructible. It would be hard, durable, and it would be able to withstand lots of abuse. Now if you're not concerned about durability or you're short on cash, then you'll just want a cheap, fast way to make it thicker and waterproof. If that's the case, then you can use the wood glue method. The glue that I use is Titebond 2 wood glue. And how you do this is you just pour some in a bowl along with just a tiny little bit of water to make it more spreadable. And then paint it on the armor. Start with the outside first and give it about 30 minutes to dry. Then cover the inside the same way. And once that dries, depending on how thick you want it, you can add another layer or two on both sides. If you're really wanting it hard and durable, then don't go with this method. Definitely go with the fiberglassing method. And if you want to give it a more smooth appearance without the folded paper edges, then also give it a coat of Bondo and then sand it down to give it perfect detail. But whenever you have it the way you want it, it's time to spray paint it. This part is pretty self-explanatory. Just pick a good color of spray paint that you want and spray it over once, let it dry, and then spray it over again. And then once that dries, if you're happy with it, then you're through. But what about the tinted visors that you see some of these helmets with? Where would you find one of those? Well, essentially those are just motorcycle helmets. And you can actually find some on Amazon.com for really cheap. Just order one and find a way to attach it to your helmet. Keep in mind though that the flimsier your helmet is, the harder it will be to attach the visor to it. Now it's all finished and it's time to go show off your new armor and scare the crap out of some little kids. Alright, be sure to check out Tinkernut.com on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter. That's it for this tutorial. For more, go to Tinkernut.com.